Hey guys, Ben from KCT here. So, actually taking lunch today, and I wanted to do some recording. So one of the big things that I think that has helped me throughout the years is finding yourself in media. Now, what do I mean by that? Finding things that speak to you, finding things that you identify with, that resonate with you, that really, can maybe pull you out of a bad time, or just but something that you really really understand that kind of speaks to you. So kind of in my book, so growing up I was always kind of weird and just had like weird thought processes, and the way that I thought about things was different than like a lot of other people, which it's not good or bad, it is what it is. And I remember it was like 97, 98. I know the album dropped in 97. And I was at a youth group retreat of all places, and I'm outside smoking with one of the guys I hardly talk to. So here we are smoking at a youth group retreat. We're hiding behind a truck, trying to have a cigarette or whatever, and not get caught. And he has a Discman, and he's like, "Bro, do you want to hear some music?" And I was like, "Yeah, what do you got for me?" And he throws on this album, and just gives me the earphones, and I put them on there, dude. And it was Sex Styles by Cool Keith. So name the album aside. But I was sitting there listening to this music, and he's rapping about like just weird stuff, like off the wall, space, spaceships, superheroes. Obviously, there's the Sex Styles part, but I was sitting there listening to it, and it blew me away because I was like, "Holy shit! There is somebody out there that's brain is on another level." I'm not saying like I'm some genius or whatever, but a person that's able to go ahead and think and say things that are not conventional, that are the way that I kind of think and talk about things, and so if anybody ever says anything about me, it's kind of okay. Well, do you spend all day thinking of this stuff to say, because it comes out very different than a lot of other people. um, but I mean, I remember just being blown away by that, and I was like, holy shit, there's a guy out here and he's rapping, and you know, and doing it in a way that the confidence behind him, in his voice was insane. He was going to be out there talking about weird stuff, sex stuff, whatever, but he was not ashamed to be who he was. And that was really powerful to see somebody go out there that and be successful and be different and not care. And that's Keith to the core. So years later, he dropped Dr. Octagon, and I'm in high school, like senior high or whatever, and I'm trying to play cuts of this on the radio, um, our school radio, and I had a guy edit, because there's parts it can't play, and I had a guy hiding behind the soundboard, just muting it whenever something bad came on, and I was down to the cafeteria grabbing something. I should have been in class, and they were playing it over the radio, so they have Cool Keith's "I'm Destructive" from Dr. Octagon playing across the PA and the surrounding areas, because it was a radio station that went by wire, so like the actual phone lines would carry the signal. This guy, and he missed one of the edits badly, and they said something he shouldn't have said at school. So, and I was great, I'm running back to the to the classroom to get this guy on the soundboard, and he's there talking to his friend, and all this stuff's coming out, and yeah, thank God we didn't get in trouble. I think it was over too fast before somebody could realize what it was. But that really spoke a lot to me. Somebody just being out there, being weird, being different, and being corny, being but confident, and the confidence is what sells it. If you're out there and you're talking about stuff and you don't sound like what's going on, and you don't sound like that you're doing the right thing for you, it doesn't sound right. So, that was something that was big for me. A lot of people were listening to like Black Flag, Operation Ivy, like whatever else, and I get that. I was at a lot of punks in my radio class in school and whatnot, but you know, to me that was my Ramones, or that was my it's something that other people might not get. You know what I mean? Like if you're a punk and you're like throwing the Op Ivy out there, Agent Orange, whatever, some people aren't gonna get that. If you get a Pennywise shirt, some people are not gonna understand. I didn't. So, um, but to them, that music spoke to those people, and so, and then for me, I mean, it wasn't necessarily that it was rap. I love the lyrical stuff. I love, getting down into the words, and really chopping it up. But it could have been they could have been singing it for all I cared. I just wanted to hear it. So years later, I was at the record store. I don't know what I was doing, but and I found an album from a group called Swollen Members, and I love the name right off the back. You gotta, you understand. So I buy this album. It's called Heavy, and it's got a cover by Todd McFarlane. So Todd McFarlane drew all the members of the group, as characters like wizards and Vikings and stuff. And there's a lot of that imagery, and I throw it on and I'm like, holy shit, man, these guys are from Canada. And it was just insane. I mean, these guys are rapping about Dungeons and Dragons, their producer's name is Rob the Viking, so it's like, they're going off on this other level. And I didn't play Dungeons and Dragons. A lot of my friends did. I played like BattleTech and shit like that. But, to hear somebody just rapping about like another dimension and going through portals and magic spells and shit, and they're just doing it, you know what I mean? They don't care. They're just throwing it out there, and that's what they want to do, and that's how they're doing it, That to me was really, really huge. It was really a turning point in how I thought about myself and how I interacted with the world, because, these guys are out there selling records. They're out there going to shows. So I was like scooping up everything that I could find for Swole Members, Battle Axe Warriors, compilation discs and stuff, their old albums, and so to me, again, if you're out there and you're talking about like fighting dragons and shit and like, flipping through dimensions and, goblins and ghosts and stuff, like, and you're doing it, you don't care, that's what you are. That's what you want to do. That's, you're doing it without really worried about how other people feel about you. That music resonated so much with me, just so much, because, if you have an unconventional mindset, normal music is kind of boring. So, for me, that allowed me to find myself in media. So then going on to like the visual spectrum, there's a movie called Versus, and it is the most gonzo, over the top. If you haven't seen it, it's a Japanese movie, and I saw that. I mean, and this was another one of those things where it's like the comedy, the dialogue, everything is just like so nuts, and it's like, I told my buddy when I met him one time, I was like, half my life is just like Cool Keith references, and freaking, verses, references and stuff. I'm not even like a person. I'm just a, amalgamation of all these different things, throughout my life. And we could have entire conversations that are just, lyrics and then phrases from these movies. And, that really spoke to me, because the director's out there and he's like, look, we're going to do zombies with me. We're going to do machine guns. We're going to do samurai swords. We're going to do reincarnation and magic. And it's all going to take place in the woods. And, gangsters, and, that blew me away, and just to do it with such a bold vision and do it in such a way that, it wasn't like, I hope people like this. I'm scared, like I want people to like it, but I don't know. It's fuck the critics. Everything I make is a hit. That's from Cool Keith right there. Well, that's what they did. Just went out there and just said, fuck it, man. Like I want to do what I want to do. And for everybody out there, find something in your life that you can get back to that really brings that home, because like for me right now, this is at the end of October. Just about to turn 40, like 2 days. By the time that you see this, probably I will be 40. You're trapped in this perfect body. But for me, from basically to my birthday to the end of the year, to the end of October to December, January, that I jokingly refer to that as Suicide Alley for me, because it is where I like the holidays, the seasonal depression, like everything is on high alert. It's terrible. That's when I hit the skids. That's when I lose. That's when I like switch jobs. That's when I like walk out on people. And I'm not saying like walk out on my wife. I'm just saying just like relationships, friendships. People don't hear from me anymore. So having something that I can get back to. I can throw Swollen Members on. When I need a boost. I can throw them on when I need something. I throw that Cool Keith on. I don't care if anybody else understands it. That's fine. Like, that's even part of the mystique. It's like, bro, I got something you don't know. So, to me, that's something I can go back to. So if you find something in media that you can use and you can reuse it and you can access it, that's critical because like if you're having like a shitty day where you're thinking about like flipping your car, and that's when I have a shitty day, that's what I think about really a lot of times is just rolling my car deliberately. And I don't know. I'm sure other people think that. But if you're having that, man, if you can get back to that media that makes you connect to the world through it, that's golden. That's something you need to do. Um, if it's a song, if it's a movie, if it's a genre, if it's like for me recording, doing this is therapy. It's cheaper than therapy. It's saving me 30, $50 every time I sit down and do something in front of the camera. I don't care. So, you know, you gotta find something. You gotta find something in media that you can recognize, that you can get to in a hurry when things get bad. You know, I think that's really important. And so for whatever that is, just figure out what that is. Like I don't like to base my stuff around people. Oddly enough, even though I'm like the most introverted extrovert I think probably in the world. But because people are unreliable, people they will not always be there. You calling them, people aren't calling you back, whatever. They got a life. I understand that, but I can throw that record on, and I can hear it anytime, and get picked up. I can listen to Beautiful Death Machine by Soul Members whenever I want, and get that going. So by having something that is like a solid failsafe, um, I think you can really help yourself through bad situations. Now, for me, one of the really awful things is I have hypervigilance, and that sort of shows up in the form of everything being turned up to 11, and um, it really sucks because like the other night I was talking to my wife and I was like, I came in and I said stuff and I wasn't thinking clearly. I thought there was an emergency or something going on, and it turned out to not be. And she's working on it and I'm working on it, and to my mind, it seems like something else is happening, and so that's really hard to get over. That's hard to fight. To go, everything that I saw and heard was filtered through a lens that made things incorrect. So being able to plug yourself into something that steadies you, that grounds you, is great. So I'm just saying this kind of going into my rough time of the year. Hopefully if somebody sees this and they got their rough shit going on, they can, listen to this and kind of decide for themselves, like, oh man, I gotta go grab Green Day's first album, or I gotta go, whatever you want to do. Um, and if you can't take from the media, and put it into something also that you're doing that's maybe like physical. So like if you're feeling shitty, you might need to go work out, you may need to go for a run, work on something. If you can get that music, okay, get that music, get the video, whatever you got, and combine it with you being active, not just sitting there and wallowing in your own little stew. um, try that, but yeah, definitely locate yourself in some media. Find yourself, find who you are, and don't compromise. There's somebody out there for everybody. It's it's logic. It's just sheer math. It's like a relationship. You can be the most ugliest, fucked up looking person in the world, and someone's gonna come through and find you beautiful. Inside, outside, whatever, how that works. You're gonna find somebody if you keep trying. Be an incel. Um, but you find something and fucking blast it. Like turn it up high volume. And I don't care if my neighbors hear me listen to Cool Keith and oh my god, I don't like what he says. Like fuck you. If that's something what I need right now, then that's what I need right now. I'm not trying to be a dick to him, but so. Anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up there. Just try to think about stuff like that. We're all human. We all have things that we identify with, and that we can use to sort of fix ourselves. And hopefully this is one that you guys can use. All right, guys, this has been Last Survivor of the Nostromo, signing off.